If you're looking to create an exercise routine, especially if you haven't been active in quite a while, or maybe you feel you've tried over and over and over to create an exercise routine and you just can't seem to make it stick, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you the one thing to focus on and 2 different ways that you can focus on that will dramatically increase your chances of creating that healthy habit of movement and exercise in your day. So let's go ahead and get started. So there's several different variables when it comes to exercise. There is the frequency, which is how often you might exercise, the duration, which is how long you might have each of those exercise sessions, and of course there's the intensity, which is the level of difficulty or how intense those workouts are. And there's several different modes of exercising. You might take part in an aerobic activity for cardiovascular health, you might lift weights for strength training, balance, flexibility, several different modes of exercise you might engage in, but they all have those same 3 variables of the frequency, the duration, and the intensity. So what I would recommend in all of that is the one thing to focus on is focus on frequency first. So don't worry about how long your workouts are. Don't worry about how intense they might be.
What?
For the love of all things holy, do not worry about how intense that workout is. That's why in the thumbnail for this video, I put a big red X to the person who's exerting just a ton of effort, lifting a lot of weights. Would I love for you to achieve that? Sure, I would. But in the beginning, is that the best way to approach something when you haven't been active at all, is to do something that's super, super hard? Probably not. Are there people that are wired like that? Yes, there are, and I'm looking at you, David Goggins. For the most of us, starting out small is the right answer. And pick whichever mode of exercise that you would enjoy, because we tend to do things we enjoy, right? We tend to resist things and avoid things that we don't like doing. So with regards to the 2 different ways that you can focus on frequency, there's one that's called NEAT. Now, if you haven't heard about this before, if you're not in the fitness space or the health and wellness space, you may have never heard of NEAT, but I think you probably know the principle. What NEAT is, NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So you've heard the expression of burning calories, right? Where we expend energy doing our workouts and that will burn calories. But non-exercise activity can do that as well. So the different movements and the activity that you might take part in throughout your day that's not necessarily dedicated to a specific workout or exercise, that all counts, you guys. And it has a cumulative effect where that adds up. And there's mounting research that shows that that type of activity throughout somebody's day can largely help somebody maintain a healthy weight and provide really good health benefits. If you can adopt this growth mindset and really look for opportunities throughout your day to boost NEAT, that's one way to focus on frequency. Now, one I know you've heard of is park further away from the front door of wherever you go. So if you're pulling into work every morning, park in a spot that's farther away and then walk a little more. You've all heard that, right? Or take the stairs instead of the elevator or things like that, which, why? Because it works. So I know it sounds really simple and we tend not to celebrate those small wins, but I encourage you to do that as well. When you pull into work and you remember to park further away from the door than you normally do, celebrate that, by the way, and pat yourself on the back. There's actually science behind that and how those wire those healthy habits into our brain. So focus on frequency first. The first way to do that is by boosting NEAT. Now, the second way to focus on frequency is kind of the more traditional thing that you probably came here for, which is how do I create this exercise routine? You know, how do I do something where I consistently am being able to hit some targets that I'd like to with exercise? Now, I'm guessing those targets that you're trying to hit for many of you is that 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity throughout your week, which across all health organizations, that's really kind of the goal. I want you to know that I come from a place that if you haven't been moving much at all, especially for a very long time, that I recognize that 150 minutes throughout your week might seem overwhelming to a lot of people. And I don't think that there should be any shame involved in that. That would be overwhelming maybe to someone who can't really seem to carve out 5 minutes in their day for themselves, let alone 150 minutes a week. So I tend not to shame people. I feel like we can get a lot further just being compassionate to ourselves and recognize, hey, I've been doing nothing. You know, I've come from a place where I have been doing nothing for a very long time, and those 5 minutes 5 times a week is my starting point. It's something that I can be proud of. It's where I've actually carved out 5 minutes, which I bet a lot of you don't ever even do that, right? Where it's something dedicated to yourself and your own health and well-being. So there is no shame in starting small. That's why I recommend that you start with frequency first. And it's just an idea, a way that it might unfold for you, but it's a way that might be very different than you've ever tried before. Has anybody really ever tried just 5 times a week walking 5 minutes during their lunch hour? Probably not. And why is that? And I think why that is too, a lot of times we think that that's too small of an effort, it won't matter. but it will. I promise you will. Because what we're talking about here is behavior, and that's where I specialize in, which I don't even think I've introduced myself. By the way, hi, my name is Berta. I'm a Mayo Clinic trained and board certified health and wellness specialist, and where I specialize is helping people change their behaviors. So once you feel really confident, you've built up that healthy habit of moving more, and you've reached that frequency goal, where now 5 times a week or 6 times a week or whatever it is for you that your goal is, once you've reached that, then go ahead and start tackling longer workout sessions. Then go ahead and start tackling maybe higher intensity and celebrate your wins. I cannot emphasize that enough as well, as making sure that you celebrate that. So frequency first, that's my recommendation and where you should focus if you're trying to create the healthy habit of moving more. I appreciate you letting me share this with you, and I will see you next time.